Durango, Colorado, tucked away in the southwestern Rocky Mountains. Home to many of cycling's legends, valleys low, mountains high, and me, Bob Roll. Hello and welcome to the garage wing of the Roll Palatial Estate, where all the two-wheeled yum-yums are kept. You are tuned to Lance's historic ride, Roll Back with Bobke. Over the next 2 days, we're going to show you all of the very best moments of the 2004 Tour de France. Of course, it's the day before Thanksgiving, so I am going to prepare a huge feast for Turkey Day. To get things started on the marathon is the prologue from Liège, Belgium, where Lance Armstrong prepares to do something that's never been done before, win 6 Tours de France. You're watching Lance's historic ride, Roll Back with Bobke. You know, I'm not great in the kitchen, so I spend as much time as I can in my garage. It is loaded to the gills with yummy bling bling hoopty, starting with some Milwaukee iron. And that's the Night Train, all flat black. Chrome will not get you home. A little Italian love right here. This is a MH900E Ducati, very limited production a couple of years ago. Lucky enough to snag one of these. When I do my road rides, I need the honky-tonkin' machine right here from the good people in Waterloo, Wisconsin at Trek Bicycles. We do get a fair amount of snow in the Colorado Rocky Mountains. For that, I need a full quiver of rocket ships for my feet. Got all the atomics, all the vocals, all the Solomons, all of the skis that I can. I got your downhill, I got your powder, and I got your telemark boards right there. I'm procrastinating in the garage day in and day out. And while I'm doing that, watch the finish of the prologue from Liège, Belgium, as Lance Armstrong steamrolls to the line. As the 2004 Tour de France OLN Marathon on Thanksgiving Day continues, we're still here in my garage. Behind me, the Wall of Fame, including the historic only American team to win the Giro d'Italia. We even did good in the team time trial, essential to overall success. U.S. Postal has made a science out of that. As we watch the team time trial from the 04 Tour de France, Lance Armstrong and the Postal juggernaut rolls right on. Welcome back to Lance's historic ride, Roll Back with Bobke. I'm out of the garage, into the kitchen, getting our Thanksgiving Day feast prepared. Up next, stage number 10, Bastille Day in France, the first foray into the mountains for the 04 Tour. Richard Virenque going off, trying to steal a stage win on French Independence Day. Tomorrow is our day of giving thanks. Welcome back to Bobke's Kitchen. I got a whole pot full of potatoes that are already peeled, and I'm down to my very last one. Next up, stage number 12 to La Mongie, the first day of the tour in the high mountains. As we get into the Pyrenees, Yvon Basso and Lance Armstrong trying to get time on all of their rivals. Stay tuned as we continue our 2004 Tour de France Marathon exclusively on OLN. Welcome back to Bobke's Kitchen. I'm in the middle of making the Thanksgiving Day feast. Up next, stuffing. It takes many long, hard, arduous hours of labor to prepare the stuffing. Except if you have a bag, and all you have to do is pour and add water. Up next in our marathon is stage number 13, the toughest stage in the Pyrenees, to Plateau de Bay, as Lance Armstrong continues his march for a 6th historic Tour de France win. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed day number 1 of the Thanksgiving Day 2004 Tour de France Marathon here on OLN. Please join me tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern after you've had your Thanksgiving Day meal. I've got all the fixings just about ready. All I need for tomorrow is a turkey. I'll be out hunting for that early in the morning. Throughout the day, we'll be bringing you part 2 of the Tour de France Marathon as we roll on Lance's historic ride, Roll Back with Bobke. Now at the Roll family mansion, a little nightcap is in order after such a long, hard day of work. 1 cup of moonshine, perhaps 2. A little cycling powder, a little energy drink there. Couple of scoops of that. Mix it all up. Drink at your leisure. Hit the hay. You're going to need your rest for tomorrow. And join us again, 4 p.m. Eastern. Hi, I'm Bob Roll, and happy Thanksgiving. You're tuned to Lance's Historic Ride, Rollback with Bob Key. This is day number 2 of OLN's Thanksgiving Marathon. We're looking at the best moments of the 2004 Tour de France. If you saw me yesterday, I got all the fixings ready. Today, it's time to go get the bird. Of course, I had a couple of cocktails too many, overslept a little bit. All the shops are closed, so I'm gonna have to go out and hunt my own turkey. I've got my bow, my arrows, I got my bicycle, and I'm ready to do a little bit of hunting. The weather is good at the moment, but there's a little bit of snow forecast for later on in the day. While I'm out hunting for the bird, I want you guys to stay tuned to stage number 12, an epic duel in the Pyrenees between Lance Armstrong and Ivan Basso. We're up to stage 13 in the marathon of Lance's historic ride, Rollback with Bob Key. I'm out in the woods now. I'm sure there's a big, fat, juicy gobbler around here somewhere. While I'm hunting, I want you to kick back and enjoy an epic battle on the slopes of the Plateau de Bay between Ivan Basso and Lance Armstrong for Tour de France supremacy. Welcome back to Lance's historic ride, Rollback with Bob Key. These are the perfect hunting conditions for turkey in the Rocky Mountains. Hope you're enjoying OLN's marathon of the 2004 Tour de France. We're in stage 13 now, where Lance Armstrong and Ivan Basso continued their duel in the Pyrenees, and this is the toughest stage to Plateau de Bay. Welcome back to Lance's historic ride, Rollback with Bob Key, during OLN's Tour de France marathon. I've been out hunting turkey all morning, and I think I see one. Oh! Ah. While I practice my aim, enjoy stage number 15 to Villard de Lans, while little Tommy Vogler clings tenaciously to the yellow jersey, and Lance Armstrong and company race for the overall classification. You're watching Lance's historic ride, Rollback with Bob Key. I'm still in the Rocky Mountains, still hunting turkeys. The weather is still perfect. That last gobbler was pretty quick, but I think I got this guy dead to rights. Oh, yes! We are going to feast tonight! We're going to have some turkey tonight! While you continue enjoying stage number 15, I'm going to take this bird home, dress it out, and get ready for Thanksgiving turkey dinner! See ya! Welcome back. I'm home to my garage. I've been out in the field, and I've got my bird. I'm going to take it upstairs, get it all dressed out, and ready to bake. In the meantime, stay tuned to stage number 16, the historic Alpe d'Huez time trial. Lance Armstrong is starting last. He's going to try to consolidate some time for the general classification. You're watching Lance's historic ride, Roll Back with Bobke. We're here in my kitchen, the Roll family mansion. Got all the fixins getting ready for the turkey dinner for Thanksgiving. Got your stuffing, got your cranberries, got your candied yams, got your string beans. Most importantly, we got the turkey right here. You saw how arduous it was out in the woods hunting. While I dress this bird down, I want you to enjoy the first ever time trial up the slopes of the Alpe d'Huez, where Lance Armstrong had his best chance to consolidate his yellow jersey lead. Welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Bob Roll, and you are tuned to Lance's historic ride, Roll Back with Bobke. I've gone out into the wilds. I have slayed the bird, I have dressed it, and now the most important phase of turkey preparation, the basting. Here at the Roll family mansion, we have a little bit different way of doing it. We use the cycling gels. Now while I'm basting this bird, I want you guys to tune into stage 17 to Le Grand Bernard and the most scintillating finish of this year's Tour de France. And it's Floyd Landis over the top of the last climb. First, he's on to the descent. He's opened up a bit of a gap, but it's the big German. It's Jan Ullrich chasing down Floyd Landis. Quickly on his wheel is Lance Armstrong in the yellow jersey. It's Cloden following Armstrong. Now Cloden's gone. Now Cloden is streaking towards the finish line. He's opened up a clear set of wheels. There will be no chance for anybody else to win the stage. It's going to be Cloden. Oh my goodness me, it's Armstrong on the line. Can this man do no wrong? Oh, sorry about that. A little bit of a sneak preview for stage 17. Stay tuned for Lance Armstrong, Andreas Cloden, Floyd Landis, Jan Ullrich, and Yvan Basso with the most thrilling finish of this year's Tour de France, exclusively here during OLN's Thanksgiving Day 2004 Tour de France Marathon. Hope you're enjoying OLN's Thanksgiving Day Tour de France Marathon. I'm Bob Roll, still in the kitchen. I've slayed the bird. I've dressed the bird. I've basted the bird. Now it's time to cook the bird. My oven's set at 350 degrees, and it's time to do some cooking. While this is baking, stay tuned to stage 19. The final time trial, Lance Armstrong's last chance to stamp his authority on this year's 2004 Tour de France. As Lance races against time, got about 30 minutes left on the bird. All the other fixins are just about ready. String bean casserole, got your cranberries. Your turkey gravy, can't have Thanksgiving without. Some candied yams and some stuffing, of course. Kick back, stage 19, the last time trial of the 2004 Tour de France. During Lance's historic ride, Roll Back with Bobke. Welcome back to the Roll family estate and OLN's 2004 Thanksgiving Day Tour de France Marathon. If you've been with me today, you'll have seen me out hunting the turkey, dressing the turkey, basting the turkey, baking the turkey, and finally now it's time to eat the turkey. I've got a couple of very special guests that are going to join us in a little bit. Until they do, please enjoy stage number 20, the last stage of the 2004 Tour de France during Lance's historic ride, Roll Back with Bobke. You're watching Lance's historic ride, Roll Back with Bobke. Now, before we get to the stage 20 finish, the last day of the 2004 Tour de France, I wanted to welcome a couple of guests. I spent the whole month of July with my dear colleagues from England, and ladies and gentlemen, with no further ado, Mr. Phil Liggett and Paul Sherwin. Great to have you guys with us. Paul, a little dark meat, I presume. Phil, ask yourself, what would Thanksgiving be like without a roll? Stage number 20 was the last stage of the 2004 Tour de France, where Lance Armstrong made history, accomplishing something no man had done before: win 6 Tours de France. Whew, compliments to the chef. The main course is over. The Tour de France is over, but our marathon is not yet over. Phil and Paul had a chance to catch up with Lance Armstrong just after the finish of the 2004 Tour and get his perspective on his 6th historic win. Now, Phil and Paul, I've got to ask you, have you no appetite? You've barely touched your food at all. Or is it that the cat is amongst the pigeons now? You're watching Lance's Historic Ride, Rollback with Bobke. If you've just tuned in and missed a few stages, have no fear. We are going to show you again stage number 15 and 16, arguably the most exciting stages of the entire tour. Now, Phil and Paul did such a great job interviewing Lance after the race, I think that they deserve a slice of pumpkin pie also. We're going to enjoy some pie for dessert while you see stage number 15 to Villard-de-Lans, when Lance Armstrong tries to finally wrest the jersey off of the tenacious Thomas Voeckler. It's getting quite late, but we have saved the very best for last. Stage number 16, the most eagerly anticipated stage of the entire Tour de France, and my dear colleagues from England would agree with me, the most exciting stage of the entire Tour de France. We hope you've enjoyed the 2004 Tour de France Marathon on Thanksgiving Day on OLN. There's been so much cycling talk, I thought I'd leave you with a poem. It was the night of Thanksgiving, but I just couldn't sleep. I tried counting backwards, I tried counting sheep. The leftovers beckoned, the dark meat and white. The thought of a snack became temptation and turned into irrefutation. So I pedaled to the fridge and gazed at the goodies galore. I gobbled up turkey with buttered potatoes, stuffing with gravy, green beans, and tomatoes. I felt myself swelling like an overfilled tire. Suddenly, I became the town crier. I crashed through the ceiling, floating into the sky with a mouthful of pudding. But I managed to yell as I soared past the trees, happy eating to all. Pass the cranberries, please.